Let's talk about the Yamaha DXS18XLF. And this is the follow-up review. I know it feels like forever since I recorded my initial thoughts video, but I really have not had a good chance to use the sub a lot. And now I finally have. I've been using it every week for bike night, doing some live sound. I've had it rented out a bunch of times. And then I've done a few random DJ gigs here and there. So I feel like I've had a good chance to really get to know the sub. And what we're going to talk about today is one blown sub, one semi-blown sub, and a case with some issues. I know everybody loves hearing about the cases, so I'm going to get started with that right away. I'll make the case part quick. So the front flap, you zip up the sides and you flip open the flap, and you don't have to take the sub out of the case. But here's the issue with the zippers on the sides. Like, the zipper is super nice and easy, zip it down, it looks good, it works great, but when you flip the top up and then you grab your other sub to stack on top, say you shimmy it back a little bit, it pulls that top cover back, and what that does is it puts a lot of tension on the zippers. Second show out, I was tearing down the show, I took the top sub off, I flipped the flap down on the bottom sub, I grabbed both zippers to go like that, and the one on my right hand just snapped right off as I was zipping down, and well, I've never gotten it fixed. I'll probably leave it that way, and what's going to happen when the other one finally goes, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew in 2 strips of Velcro and have it Velcro shut, which is probably what Yamaha should have done in the first place. You know, will you ever, if you just buy 2 of these and pull mount tops, will you ever run into that issue? I would say no. The reason I'm running into the issue is because I'm stacking 2 subs and putting a DZR 315 on top. And it's just, there's no way in getting by it because the flap has to go on top. So now if you have somebody helping you set up and you can both grab one handle and lift it nicely and set it down perfectly on top of the other sub without ever having to shift it once it's there, you probably will never run into that problem either. But if you're one guy like me going out and you lift the sub up on top and you gotta shimmy it just a little bit, even just a quarter inch puts tension on that flap, and you will eventually destroy your zippers. It's just the way the case is. Now, I have started folding the flap in half. Normally, if I was just stacking, I'd just flip the whole flap over. But I have started folding it in half and tying it with that strap, even if I'm putting a sub on top of it, because then at least if I need to shimmy it back, I can kind of like try to lift the front end up as I'm like shimmying it back, so I try to keep the tension off of it. But it's just, it's one thing that makes the setup a little annoying, and I've already damaged one case because of it. Velcro on each side would have been better. On to the subs, sound-wise, like sound quality, output, solidly the best sub I have ever owned. And I dare say probably the best single 18-inch on the market until you get into, like, you know, the pro stuff. Even, you know, I own the DAS Audio Event 218A subs, like a dual 18 where you can stack 2 of them on a rolling cart. Like, it's made for you know, corporate events, maybe small touring events. And I would take 2 Yamahas over one of those. It comes out to the same price. The Yamahas are just better. Better than the QSC KW181, better than the Vantech 18A. I haven't owned every sub on the market, but in my opinion, solidly the best one out there. Now, I don't know how one blows a subwoofer at one of these. You know, there's a lot of DSP built in, a lot of protection, but I rented 2 of them out to somebody that was DJing a wedding, and they managed to blow one of them, and I think semi-blow the other one. The other one doesn't sound horrible, but it does not have the output of one that I didn't rent out. Like, it's almost like the output's like down like 30% maybe. So I think it's on its way to being blown. And I will say, if you blow a woofer in one of those, it is expensive. $580, I think, you know, plus shipping. So, you know, off of my nice $200 rental, I got to do about $1,200 in repairs, so I'm not too happy about that. I actually think I'm gonna fix these, but being as these are like my main production subs, I don't think I'm gonna rent them out anymore. I think I'm gonna take them off my rental site and probably reformulate my rentals a little bit. You know, the downside about renting out nice subs is, you know, people want the sound of like 8 of these. Like, I'm doing this concert, I just want, you know, people's heads vibrating. But, you know, I only got the budget for 1 sub. So instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crank the gain all the way up, I'm gonna crank the bass knob up on my mixer, and I'm gonna make that 1 sub sound like 8. That's not what happens. You destroy subs that way. And yeah, so I don't know. I think I'm gonna take the Yamaha DZR stuff and the Yamaha DXS18XLFs off my rental site, and just those are production only. Once I fix them, like they're mine to use. So I don't think I could ever blow one. I mean, the bike nights I've been doing, I've done 2 different setups. So I've done it with 4 of my 18-inch subs and the DZR 315s on top, which get loud. I mean, like almost too loud. Like, I had the bass player complaining at one show that he's like, oh, when the drummer starts hitting his double kick, it's just like, brrr. And he's like, I can't hear my bass, I can't hear anything else, all I can hear is kick drum just annihilating me on stage. And like, sorry man, it sounds good out here. You know, so I mean, it gets loud. Like, that's solidly my street dance setup. You know, and initially when I bought these, I wanted to double that to be able to do really big shows. I don't think I'm going to scale up to do really big shows anymore. I think what I've got will be about it. I might even look at maybe slightly downsizing my sound system at some point. I'm just, you know, right now there's just not a whole lot of business, and I don't really need really big gear. So I don't like to hang on to things to just let it sit and depreciate, so I might maybe next year roll it out into something else that kind of more suits what's going on in the world, I guess. But right now, it's a good system. Weight-wise, forgot to talk about the other system. So bike night, I have also tried just using 2 of the 18-inch subs and then pole mounting a DXR15 Mark II. And I almost think for bike night, that's kind of my preferred system. Like the 2 subs, you know, if you've got 2 subs working 100%, not 1 sub working 100% and the other one working 70%. But if you've got 2 solidly working subs, it in the power rally in the center, you can still kind of feel the bass. Like, it's got good output and good sound. And, you know, the 15s sound good too. And I almost think at bike night, where people are trying to like socialize, talk, and listen to a band, that's almost the better sound system to have. Because when I bring out the full stacks, everybody is far away from the band. But the 2 shows that I've done kind of like the half sound setup, people kind of move forward. They're bringing their lawn chairs, they're sitting down in front, they're enjoying sitting and watching the band. So I think I'm actually going to do like the half sound system from now on at bike night. But the big sound system does sound better when you get 4 subs going. I mean, you can really make a double kick go. And I'll get into the DZR 315s in another video. I don't want to make this one too long. But the vocal clarity is amazing on those things. Way different than the DXR 15 Mark II. Anyways, you know, size and weight wise, you know, I think I had said this in my last video. It's a heavier sub, it's a bigger sub, and that's kind of the trade-off. It's one of the best sounding, it's going to be one of the heaviest. If they made it 20 pounds lighter, it probably wouldn't sound as good or be as durable. The cloth fabric on the front, I've had 0 issues with that. I still think it's weird that they did a cloth fronted grille, but if you have the cover on it, you've got cloth covering the cloth. Mine still looks in perfect shape. No rain cover on the back, which is kind of a bummer if it rains, because I always leave the covers on my tops, and those have little rain shields for the amp. Would be cool if they made a little magnetic outer thing where you could just snap on a little rain cover. A few different speaker manufacturers do that. Yamaha does not have that. Yeah, I think that's about all I got for you. I would definitely recommend this sub. I think it's one of the best sounding out there. You know, if you don't rent it out to people that don't know what they're doing, you shouldn't have any issues. It is a solid sub. I really like it, and I'm sure you would too. And yeah, if you have any questions, throw it down in the comments section. Until next time, have a good day.